Alright, in this tutorial, I'm just going to teach you how to understand, how to use the JSON, which is a really important data exchange format in a lot of programming language, including Java, C Sharp, or C++, or any kind of programming language. We will make use of this data exchange format JSON. Now I'm just create a project through the Python IDE called PyCharm. I hope you have already installed the PyCharm because this is super useful if you are learning Python as just a beginner or even you're an expert user. PyCharm is a really good tool. Anyway, so at the very beginning, I just want to define what is JSON. I just assume you are an absolute beginner, you know nothing about JSON, and so I will just explain it step by step and go into details and let you know what is JSON and how to make good use of it. So the definition of JSON actually just stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Okay, so it's something similar to JavaScript. If you have write JavaScript before or learn JavaScript before, you should easily get familiar with the JSON format. Yeah, because it's just quite similar, I can tell. Now I just create an example. In this example, I'm trying to define a properties. A property. Or if you understand what is a property may include the price, right? That means how much is the property, and maybe how many room in the properties. So we can try to define price. We use a colon. Okay, 1 million. That means the price of the property is 1 million, and then we use the double quote and comma and write room, okay, and colon, and try to write like 3 bedroom. Okay, so yeah, and you can just continue to create this JSON format example, because actually I just want to show you what a JSON format look like, and I just copy and paste to fill record so that you basically understand the format of a JSON. Okay, price 1 million, 3 bedrooms, price 2 millions, room maybe 2 million should be 4 bedrooms, or maybe 5 millions got 6 bedrooms. Okay, so in this example, I just want to show you basically a JSON look like that. All right, so and now I'm just going to show you in Python coding. Okay, in Python programming, we need to import the libraries of JSON so that you can do a lot of different kinds of operation of JSON. The libraries of JSON is super useful. It have a lot of built-in function we can make good use of, so that we can do some kinds of operation. So first of all, just use the import keyword and type JSON. That's it. Basically, it should be built-in function. If not, you can use the pip install JSON to install the missing package. Okay, should be installed in your PyCharm IDE. Okay, if you're not using the PyCharm, maybe you need to do some action to install the JSON libraries in your own IDE, maybe Visual Studio or any kinds of IDE. Okay, so now I would like to define a Python object. That means I'm just doing something in Python format, and then at the end I will convert this Python object to a JSON format, and then you will understand how this conversion work. Okay, basically I just define a variable called properties, and then equal to a bracket, and then price colon 10 millions. All right, so expensive. Okay, $10 million, and then the room. How many room can $10 million can buy? Okay, maybe 10 bedroom. Does it make sense? Okay, anyway, just an example. Okay, just 10 millions, and then I buy a 10 bedrooms property, and in the city like Vancouver. Well, maybe you think it is impossible right now. Yeah, because the properties in Vancouver is super expensive right now. So maybe 10 millions, you can't buy 10 bedrooms. Maybe can. 10 millions is quite a lot of money. Anyway, so now let's do a simple conversion. Okay, try to convert the Python object to a JSON format. Okay, so what to do? We can now use the JSON libraries. We just type JSON and then dot, and then call a function called dumps. Okay, it is a very important function. You will use it quite often in coming Python coding journey. Okay, just call the dumps properties, and then it will return something. So just define a variable called JSON object equal to JSON.dumps properties. Alright, so now the JSON object already stored the returned JSON format. Just store the values, and now I just want to print it out so that you can understand, or at least know what is going to happen. And then I just comment out the example so that it won't disturb the printing result. Okay, so now I just recap: import the JSON, define the Python object, and then just print out the converted object. Now you can see I can print out the JSON object like this, just like what I showed you in the example. So in this tutorial, I'm just showed you something very basic about JSON, and I hope in the coming tutorials I can show you more about how to make good use of JSON.